Hello, everyone. Welcome to our chat series, the first episode of Turbocharged SDLC, the Agentic AI Era. Today, it's my pleasure to invite my colleague and expert in this area of software development lifecycle, Shweta Kulkarni, who is the Vice President of Projects. Shweta, welcome to our show.
Thanks, Shrikant. Glad to be here.
Shweta, let's dive straight in. Over decades, we have been doing traditional waterfall models, agile-based development, and they've been fairly successful. Now we are living in an era where there is fast-paced innovations, daily releases, AI-led workflows. How do you think this new paradigm is coping up with the old, or how the old is kind of keeping up with the new?
Great question, Shrikant. If you ask me, agile principles are still rock solid. So it keeps user in the center. It helps you iterate fast. It encourages team collaboration. So all that is very good. But if you stick with classic agile, then it can feel that you are using a flip phone in the era of modern smartphones. So if you also look at the tools that you traditionally use in the agile development methodology, like Jira, GitHub, they are also coming up with a lot of AI features. GitHub has automated its code reviews using Copilot. Jira has an AI plugin using which you can write user stories pretty quickly. So if you see these features, these are not just a convenience features. This is a sign that Agile is evolving using AI. So to summarize, traditional Agile is adopting AI features and slowly moving towards cognitive Agile.
That's a great analogy, Shweta. Agile as a flip phone without the AI features. That means you can just dial or use some of the common features, but you cannot use all the latest and greatest smartphone things to do things at speed. Now, moving on, there is another concept that is creating a lot of buzz, which is Agentic AI. What are your thoughts about Agentic AI?
Agentic AI is essentially a AI that doesn't wait for you to push the button. So think of it like a colleague who is very proactive, who takes initiative and does things for you. So how it works is it identifies the problem, it figures out the solution itself, and then also fix it for you. So picture an AI engine that finds out bug in your code, actually fix it and raise a pull request on your behalf. So that's Agentic AI in action. And we are also seeing some early examples of these kind of tools. So there are code auditor tools in market that flags potential vulnerabilities in your code and actually patch them for you. So essentially, using these agents, AI is taking a more responsible role in the entire development process.
Wow. So instead of just suggesting lines of code, AI is now also managing the entire development workflow. This seems like only some giant companies with a lot of funds can manage. Do you think mid-sized companies as well as small companies can play in this space?
It's an interesting question, Shrikant, because till few years back, everyone thought that AI is only for the big giants, but not anymore. The barriers to entries are coming down. Even smaller teams are able to use these tools pretty effectively and quickly and make use of it. For example, people are using GitHub Copilot to fast track their development cycle. QA teams are using tools like Podium AI to generate automation test cases. Product teams have started using AI features of Jira to generate user stories pretty quickly. So overall, everyone is starting to use these tools in their SDLC pretty effectively. So even a tiny startup can actually get up and running pretty fast using these tools. So you no longer need $1 million budget or large AI departments to adopt AI strategy. The key to success is to start small, see what really adds value, and then grow from there. So I think that being bold is important and not big.
That's encouraging. Let's say that you are a CTO or a VP of engineering. You believe in AI, but you don't want to still use all the AI features at one go. What would you think are the initial first steps that someone needs to take?
Sure. So I would say that it is all about strategically adopting AI for your needs. You have to first figure out what are the bottlenecks that are hurting you the most, and then seeing how the AI strategy can help you overcome those challenges. As I am working with a lot of customers, some of their common pain points are there is a lot of backlog of manual test cases. Teams are not able to keep up the pace of automation testing as the product roadmap evolves. Product teams are not able to find time to write good and detailed user stories, which eventually introduces missed requirement in the development cycle. So if you can see, AI can really overcome these challenges pretty effectively. So that's one area which I think leadership can focus on. One other aspect that they need to kind of think about is it is not only about plugging in tools. It also needs a culture that embraces experimentation. So team members need to feel safe to do trials, try out new things, and learn from that experience. So that is another aspect that leadership needs to focus on. Third aspect that I think is pretty important is about upskilling. The need for learning is greater than ever before, I think. The leadership teams have to really invest in defining upskilling programs so that the teams are able to learn newer skills. Like they need to know how to write good prompts. They need to know how to validate the code that AI tools generate. They also have to figure out the blind spots in the entire AI process. So upskilling is an important aspect that needs attention. And finally, I think while we implement AI strategy, it has to be people-centric. It is not only about chasing the productivity metrics, but what we want to do is build the teams that are able to produce impactful work at the end of the time.
That people-centric point is huge. I've also heard a lot of chatter about legal risks, ethical risk, and plain just misconceptions around usage or wrong usage of AI. Can you share some thoughts about that?
Sure, Shrikant. One of the biggest misconceptions that people have, that they think that AI is a magic button. They hit the button and poof, like it can replace all your developers, testers, business analysts. So that's not how it will happen. People have to remember that it is a co-pilot. You still need a person or a human in the cockpit to drive the show and to oversee. So that's, I think, one of the biggest misconceptions people have. And there is this legal angle too. AI tools sometimes pull code from open source libraries which have tricky licensing. So if you are generating code using these tools, you have to be really careful about what to use and what to include in your product, because you don't want to ship something that you don't own. And another pitfall that I think is people don't know where AI will fit in their process. And if they start embedding AI into all the phases without thinking about it, then it can really cause much chaos than before. So they have to really figure out where it adds value and invest only in that aspect of it. Another aspect, which is my personal opinion, which I think is people have started thinking that AI output is always right and it is very creative. But they miss a point that it doesn't understand your context. So sometimes AI may suggest a solution that will not fit in your business context. So a human intervention is necessary to see whether the solution suggested by AI is really going to help you in your context or not.
Right on. So AI is not a autopilot. It is more like a co-pilot. You still need the right checks, balances, and strategy to work along AI. Any closing thoughts, Shweta?
Thanks. First of all, thanks Shrikant for inviting me to this chat. This topic is very close to my heart, as I'm working with a lot of customers to strategically adopt AI into their SDLC. I think that Agile's essence is heartbeat to modern development process. So if leaders adopt this responsibly, they are going to build teams which can offload the repetitive and manual tasks to AI, and they can focus more on strategic problem solving. Not to forget that this is a cultural shift, so it is going to require a lot of change management. And as traditional Agile is moving towards cognitive Agile, there is a lot of opportunity for all of us to learn.
That's perfectly summed up. Shweta, thanks for coming on the show and sharing your thoughts on AI-powered software development lifecycle. Look forward to having you again on the show. And to our listeners out there, remember, AI won't replace good developers and leaders. If you're a good developer and a good leader, and if you learn how to use AI, you can outpace others. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes on SDLC, where we will go in depth on each and every part. Thank you.